Good morning and welcome back to Morning Markets from True Potential. Paul Durrans, Investment Director. Starting with looking at equity market performance from yesterday, mixed returns on the whole. In the US, we saw weakness after they gave up some early gains in the morning, and that was really driven by the fear of higher interest rates in order to tame inflation. Elsewhere, here in the UK, we saw another day of good positive returns. That's the third day in a row where the UK market has finished in positive territory. The returns were driven by the UK banking sector, which benefit from higher interest rate expectations. Over in Europe, we also saw good positive returns, and that was more driven by companies reporting strong earnings. In terms of earnings, we are going through the latest earnings season where companies report their latest financial accounts for the previous quarter, so Q4 2021. And really, it gets a lot of attention from investors and market participants because of the insight you get into company health, and that filters into the wider economic data. So we look for what impact supply chains are having on profit margins, as well as higher labour costs, and also look at the pace of earnings growth and also the guidance looking forward to what the company's expecting to deliver in the future. In terms of noticeable companies that reported yesterday, Apple reported. They announced record quarter sales up 11% and earnings growth of 20%, way ahead of what analysts were expecting. Their finance director came out and said that the company had navigated the supply chain issues relatively well and better than previously thought. They gave also good guidance for the year ahead, seeing good demand not only domestically in the US but globally. In terms of economic data, we did have US GDP numbers, really important to follow because it shows the strength of the US economy and how quickly they're growing at. Their numbers came in at 6.9% for the quarter on an annualized basis, way ahead of the expected 5.3% and the previous quarter result of 2.3%. Contributing to the GDP numbers was the exports, where we saw good growth in the demand for services and goods, really highlighting the strength of global demand right now. And we saw good investment in inventories, which contributed to the GDP numbers. Elsewhere, we did have the initial claims jobs data from the US. That came in at 260,000, which was lower than the previous reading and shows more improvement in the labour market in the US. This really builds on and supports the comments that we heard on Wednesday from the chair of the Federal Reserve, the US Central Bank, Jay Powell, who discussed the strength of economic growth in the US. Given the high inflation and the strong labour market, they're thinking about increasing interest rates in March. Given the data that we had, we saw more strength in the US dollar, up 1.3% on a trade-weighted basis, now at its highest level since mid-2020. That's all for today. Thank you for listening. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
Subscribing to the True Potential YouTube channel is quick and easy. Simply go to the channel on your desktop or through the YouTube app on your phone and click the subscribe button. You can then press the notification bell symbol if you wish to be notified as and when new videos are released. Doing this is a great way to keep yourself updated with market developments and personal finance insights. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed, and we look forward to continuing to help you do more with your money.